When I was little, I often wondered what is on the other side of a big, scary wall. The Berlin Wall, dividing not only Germany, but also the world. I lived in a country many, many miles to the east of the wall, but I felt it as if it was right next to me. Forbidden, dangerous, ominous. It became the symbol of the Iron Curtain as the Eastern Bloc restricted trade and movement to the West. I was told I had to live, be, think on one side. And as a curious child, I loved stories, all sides of them. Especially, I wanted to hear the stories of love, hope, and overcoming. And I was growing up with stories of fear. Mom, Maiche, what is on the other side of the wall? Hush, child. Hush. Hide. 100 people have been shot trying to cross. It was built cutting through neighborhoods, separating families and friends. It's really 2 walls with the space in between nicknamed the death strip, as there are spike strips, guard dogs, landmines. There are guards ordered to shoot without warning anyone attempting to cross. Shoot without warning, shoot without warning. And I kept wondering, why? Why are people risking their lives to do it? The more I asked my family, the more stories of fear I collected. The fear stories grabbed onto my throat and constricted until I could not take a breath. The panic attacks always showed up without warning. For some reason, imagination, curiosity kept me asking. Dad had stories of a sport he loved. It gave him a feeling of freedom. He traveled to the Eastern Bloc countries playing college basketball. Dad, you have been to Poland, so close to the wall, closest anyone in the family has been. Tatko, Kazimi, what have you heard? Heard? When we play basketball, you know. But when we were teenagers, we used to hide. We had snuck a radio. We tried to tune into the right frequency to hear something from the other side. We really wanted to listen to the Beatles songs. One day we had searched for hours. There was interference. We were going to give up, and then we heard, love, 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 love. Now, I don't know English. I don't know what the words mean. But I felt this song. Like it's about believing in yourself and believing in others. What uniting forces must feel like being on the same team, you know? I got the message from his story. Learn English. And use songs to feel it. I did not know this then, but songs became another coping strategy for me when anxiety would strike. I was going through the motions of breathing, taking air in, but air did not reach. Anxiety settled and clenched and twisted. Am I going to die? Love, love, love. On the evening of November 9th, 1989, Mom, Dad, and I watched on TV people from both sides of the wall gather in demonstrations, start climbing and demolishing the wall with whatever tools they could find. And people from the opposite sides of the wall embraced. And they held each other like brothers and sisters. I turned to find Mom's eyes. Tears were streaming down her cheeks. Maiche, why are you crying? Mom, I thought I would never see this day. We are living history. Remember this feeling, Tsveti? Wow, is this what freedom feels like? Freedom. Freedom allowed me to know all the stories. Turns out, more than 5,000 people successfully escaped over, under, or through the Berlin Wall between 1961 and 1989. It was such a symbol of fear, oppression, division. It was so inspiring to know people overcame it with courage and creativity. One of those people, in 1961, Harry Detterling, a train engineer, piled his family and friends onto a steam locomotive and drove it through a gap in the border. The next day, the East German guards sealed that border. And Harry gave his train a nickname, the last train to freedom. I loved his approach, straight through fear, with his friends and family. In 1965, Heinz Holzapfel, an economist and engineer, was called to a government building right next to the wall. He managed to hide his wife and young son in a bathroom cubicle for the day, hanging an out-of-the-order sign on the door. At night, the family took for the roof. Heinz hurled a hammer across the wall. The hammer was painted with phosphorus and attached to thin rope. He had escapee helpers on the other side. They attached metal cable to the hammer, and the family pulled it onto the roof with a harness made out of bicycle wheel axle. Heinz first sent his son, then his wife, via a zip line. He jumped in last. In a stunning turn of events, the guards were watching the whole procedure happen. They thought, well, it's a government building. Such a sophisticated process. It must be the secret forces smuggling agents into the West. They did not open fire. What a spectacular human achievement. Along with one of the most amazing escapes over the Berlin Wall, the balloon. In 1979, 2 families, 8 people, had been gathering, homemaking a hot air balloon. One night, they jumped in, ascended to 8,200 feet, crossed over the wall, and landed in West Germany near the town of Naila, inspiring the creation of 2 films, The Night Crossing and the film Balloon. Now that was something. Around 1989, that memorable year of the fall of the Berlin Wall, my mom was working in an organization offering computer and foreign language classes. And she was so excited, so ambitious for the both of us to go to these foreign language courses, learn these foreign languages. And I knew it. Talk to as many different people as possible. Gather different perspectives. Be curious. I went on to an English language high school, learned English as promised, and in college, I became a tour guide. The people I toured with were from Western Europe, the USA. They told me about what was on the other side of the wall. Finally! They spoke of higher salaries, more consumer goods, better personal freedoms. At that time, my country was going through a tough transition from a planned economy offering free education, free health care, artificially sustaining everyone having a job, to a market economy where inflation hit first, and my dad's savings, put away for 20 years, vanished in an instant. The wonderful dad who taught me the sounds of love was crushed. Dad, remember love, love, love. You taught me. Now I know what the song means. Dad, you were right. You felt right. The loss of job and savings were hits he did not expect. He was devastated. He didn't remember the song anymore. Depression and anxiety were silently spreading as the stigma did not allow anyone to talk about them. Depression and anxiety were becoming new walls, and I felt surrounded again. I decided to run, fly, leave, find a way. Mom shared a nightmare, she called it. Tsveti, I had a dream. There was this abyss. It was separating us. You were on the other side. I was calling you. You did not hear me. I wanted to see you. I could not see you. Mom, your abyss is the Pacific, as I have made plans to go to the US. I landed in Denver 2 months after 9/11, 2001. And what a paradigm shift did the US offer. People called me brave for following lifetime curiosity, moving across continents in the pursuit of happiness and better freedom. My children grew up watching Disney and DreamWorks, the stories of love, hope, and overcoming I craved as a child. Now, in my lifetime experience with fear, I have learned some valuable lessons. Fear is a great teacher, and sometimes it calls on you to hush, child, hide. And other times it calls on you to devise a zip line over it. And if you ever whip up a hot air balloon, go ahead and tell everybody, because we would want to be like you. Make it known that you were scared once or twice or many times, and then you did something. You took flight. Because your story of overcoming inspires us to rise above and choose love, love, love.